Hey there, welcome back to the Neo Marketing Podcast. Kyle Golding with my partner, Pritch Pritchard. Today, we're going to talk about a few aspects of customer service during the COVID-19 limitations and what your sales staff should be doing, even though the world is not business as usual right now. Welcome to the Golding Group Neo Marketing Podcast, a bi-weekly discussion of modern business communication. Good morning, Pritch. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm vertical. Thank you, sir.
There you go. That's very important right now, for sure. Absolutely.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. You know, all things considered, to be honest with you, last month, stress was really getting me. I really was. And I think you could tell, for those of you watching the video, you can see my quarantine beard here. I haven't had a shave and I haven't had a haircut in a while, which, you know, it's been Ponytail City around here. But that's not the reason people tuned into the podcast today. Today, we're going to talk about customer service and specifically how no one's doing business as usual right now. And so customer service is more important than ever. It always is.
Absolutely.
Customer service is honestly a make or break for any business. Customer service is always important, but it's much more important right now during COVID-19. Limitations on business, it's not business as usual, right?
Right.
So customer service is the final frontier of the transaction with your client, and a great customer service experience can make someone very loyal. It can repeat business, which is your most profitable form of business, make referrals, tell their friends, even bring their friends in, become a brand evangelist, which is exactly what you want.
Absolutely.
A bad customer service can sour a great relationship with a client or customer really fast. 10 years of building can be crushed in 10 seconds of bad customer service.
It's like reputation.
That's right. And it's one of the things people think about the least, and I don't understand why. So I'm going to give you some ideas about how to really maximize your customer service during this business period that we're hopefully kind of coming out of relatively soon, and then how to keep it moving forward in the future with the lessons learned and the commitments you're making to customer service. I'm going to give a couple of examples of people doing it really well and people doing it really badly.
Really bad job. All right.
that we're going to learn from. We're going to learn those lessons from them. And then I'm also going to give everyone a little bit of advice. I just gave one of our clients a couple of weeks ago about sales are way down because of the restrictions on shopping, specifically retail in this case, due to the coronavirus. But there's so many other things everyone in your staff can keep engaged in, whether it's sales or customer service or anything else. And all of it should be focused on customer service.
Yep.
If your sales are down, your customer service needs to come way up. So that's the advice I'm going to give everyone today on the podcast.
Okay, we're ready.
Are you ready?
Strap it on.
So let's roll with it. I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to, right? Customer service is highly valuable for any business. Obvious, but true. Too many people don't spend the time to develop great customer service, not just for the people at the front desk and on the phones, but every single employee you ever have in the organization needs to understand the value of the customer, your brand story, who you are, what you do, how you do it, and how to have a conversation with the customer, putting the customer first. Now, sidebar, I might loop back to this later. The customer isn't always right.
That's correct.
That's a different conversation. Correct. It's a dumb conversation. And if I have time, I'll come back to that at the end because that's not as important right now. But customer service is always paramount.
Right.
Too many people don't take the time to train their staff and make the emphasis as the boss about folks. We've got to take care of the customer, the client. And the ones who do, you can see it. A great example, I'll just say a couple words. You tell me who this is. My pleasure. If you're in a drive-thru and you order some chicken, and then you say thank you, they say,
my pleasure.
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, okay.
That's right.
I don't go, so.
Chick-fil-A is, you know what? I like Chick-fil-A's food. Not the greatest food on the planet. Good value. Right. The customer service is ridiculous and in a good way. Amazing. Their drive-thru is fast. They're super organized. But you never see a frown. You never see frustration, even when the line's out 25 cars deep. No one panics. No one definitely shows it on their face or in the customer relationship. Customer service is the key and paramount. You would think if you opened a restaurant, the first thing you would do would be focus on food. The food is secondary, in my opinion. never necessarily read this from Chick-fil-A, but Chick-fil-A food is secondary. The Chick-fil-A customer service experience is primary. The reason people go there. Also, the speed and the accuracy, they just don't mess up.
Right.
And if they do, I guarantee you they're going to own up to it because customer service training is so important to them.
Right.
So many young people get jobs at Chick-fil-A, go on to better jobs. Once they finish their college and they go out into the world, they're better at it because of the training they get at Chick-fil-A. I have seen a lot of people reference the best thing that they came out of their teenage years was working at Chick-fil-A and receiving that experience.
Right.
So there's great, and everyone out there right now can think of a place that they go to, whether it's the quality of the place is okay to good, but not perfect. Maybe the price is a little high. Maybe it's a little out of the way to get there, but the customer service, the people that work there take such good care of you that you have loyalty to them. You would never go anywhere else.
Right.
Then there's the flip side. Bad customer service can just kill a great product, a great price, a great location, etc. Because at the end of the day, it's people doing business with people, right?
Right.
And great customer service leads you to, I want to go to that place where they treat me nice and I feel like I know them or I feel like I have a relationship with them, even if it's a business relationship. The waitress, the owner, the doorman isn't necessarily my friend, but we're friendly and I feel like good about supporting those human beings. And right now, with the limitations on business because of COVID-19, people are supporting businesses they feel good about supporting.
Absolutely.
They understand the value of local businesses and employment, tax base, etc. But they also want to support. I know someone that works there. I know they're doing a good job. I know they're stressed out by this situation. I'm going to go help them. And that comes from great customer service relationships. Yep. And so that's why building those things, they never stop. You always continue to get better at it. And it's madly important. It's more important than your marketing and advertising. And I know that's silly coming from someone who does marketing and advertising, but it doesn't matter how many people you drag in the door if the customer experience stinks.
Absolutely.
And it also equates to the same customer experience online. If I'm trying to buy something through a shopping cart online, if I'm trying to order something via an email, a text, a phone call, etc. A lot of people complain about getting sent to a phone call to someone who they have a hard time understanding their accent on the phone. Right. And it's not about not liking the person on the other end of the line. It's about the customer, the business didn't make sure the customer experience was everything that was expected.
Absolutely.
And that's what as consumers we expect them to do for us. They got to meet us halfway. Give us the best customer service you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you have to be trying. And right now, like I say, there's a lot of goodwill right now for businesses we can't do business as usual. There's curbside pickup, there's delivery, there's alternate hours, etc. Great, fine. If you're trying, if you're giving great attitude, if you're really trying to keep your customer service up because it's the one thing you can control.
Right.
Then as a consumer, I'm going to meet you halfway.
Absolutely.
I perfectly understand I can't come in, shop around, browse like I used to. I got to sit in my car. I got to pre-order. I got to wait in line. Maybe the lines are longer now. That's fine. We get it because the whole market is in flux right now. It's all unusual business. But you have an opportunity through that process to establish great customer service, or you have the opportunity to fall flat on your face.
To mess it up,
right. So I have two examples of one being a local business that I was going to, a local restaurant I was going to on a regular basis because it's near the office before all of before the world went crazy with COVID-19. I like their food. I go on a regular basis. The people who work there are very nice. I've gone there twice since they haven't been able to operate normally for pickup. And both times, not only was it awkward and kind of cumbersome and more cumbersome than a lot of places around town have figured out. And they're a small place, so I don't need them to be technologically advanced. Right. I just need to call them up and put my order in and have a conversation and be able to drive up and pick it up in a respectable manner. Both times it's been a terrible experience with the person on the other end of the phone or the person bringing the food out to the car. As if I had called them at an unusual time, made an unusual request. I was really stressing them out, and all I was doing is trying to order food and spend money at their business. Right. And then when the food is delivered, the sort of like in a normal instance, if you were to call a restaurant up and go, hey, I'm waiting outside, bring it out to me, and they got a whole lunch rush, right. They were like, please come in and do things the way everyone else does. Right. Well, that's not the case right now. Right. And so having a bad attitude about having to take my food out to my car the way I was instructed to by you, it really rubs me the wrong way because, again, I'm spending, and I also fully, right now when I'm shopping anywhere and I understand that the staff is having to go out of the way to do things, I'm tipping, I like to tip well anyways because it makes me feel good personally,
Right.
But I'm tipping really well right now because I understand that their sales are down and they need that support. At the same time, I'm not made of money. I can't just throw money around.
Right.
So if I'm going to come spend money with you and tip well, because I understand you had to come outside, you had to do all this non-normal routine, all you have to do is have a decent attitude about it. And in this case, 2 times, not just I don't think they're happy, like literally like, wow, you're mad at me.
Right.
Now it makes me not only not want to go there during the COVID-19, I don't know if I'll return. And I was going there on a regular basis. This is a customer that they're losing not because I can't go in and sit down and eat.
Right.
I understand that because
Because of the
they
way
have
staff is
a
responding.
bad attitude. And to a point that the last order I had this week, not only did they sort of like, here's your food, they forgot a side. They didn't put any napkins in, they didn't do any of the stuff you would expect from just normal takeout. Like I might have sat there and ate it in my car, no napkins,
Right.
and it's barbecue. It's
yeah.
messy.
Right.
So attitude is everything. Customer service has to be key, even when the scenario is really unusual.
Right.
And so you have an opportunity to screw yourself really poorly if you do it, and then you have an opportunity to go above and beyond. If I call up and they're like, hey, we're sorry if there's a wait. We're sorry for the inconvenience. What can I do for you? Here's my order. Thank you very much. Let me know when you'll be here. We'll take care of you. Come out. Here you go. I hope the weather's good for you today. Stay safe.
Right.
Maybe they're wearing masks and gloves. And I've had those experiences with restaurants too. It makes me think, thank you for going the extra mile. I'll be back.
Right.
Another example, though, a big giant retailer ordered a simple piece of electronics from them. Great process online. The website worked well. Put my order in. We'll text you when it's ready. Hour later, it was texted. Drive up, park here. The guy will bring it out. Simple explanation. The marketing team was really efficient. The technology was good. I went on my lunch break, drove up, parked in the spot. A guy came right out, asked me for my order number. I told him, no contact. He's wearing his gloves. All that. I'm like, fantastic.
Right.
Go home. I think they did a good job considering.
Right.
A week later, I get an email saying, you didn't pick up your order. Well, I did.
Don't tell me.
I have it. I'm using
Right.
the thing. So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, I blew it off. I'm busy. I don't have time to reply back with, sure I did. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And then another email that said, we're going to cancel your order. Okay. I have it. So
Right.
I don't mind. And ultimately, they ended up crediting back my credit card for the purchase. They fouled up,
Right.
and to their loss. And it was only a couple of bucks, but they failed at the process that they were actually doing a really good job with.
Right.
And now it makes me question, did they do a really good job? So the follow-up
Right.
on the customer service,
Right.
instead of getting an email of, why don't you come pick up your thing, and we're going to cancel your order, I should have been receiving an email of, how was our service? Here's the survey. How can we do better?
Right.
Thank you for understanding because of the restrictions, because of the pandemic. And I would have appreciated that. I'm not one to really fill out a lot of surveys. It's just me. But the offer of it is always a good idea. And it always makes you feel like, oh, okay, I think they might listen to me. So that's another example of they had an opportunity to go above and beyond because they'd done everything right, but their follow-through fell apart.
Their process, absolutely.
And they're a national chain. They have the ability, the technology. They got a team of people. They can make this work right. It's just someone made a mistake, and that's not the end of the world. I'm not saying I'm never going back there again, but it did leave a different impression on me than I had previously.
Right. Let me add 2 words that I think can help summarize what you're saying
Okay.
about customer service.
Yes.
Tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Southwest
Yes, love that customer service.
versus American
Yeah.
or United. Take your
Yeah.
pick, right?
Well, honestly, at this point,
And we haven't
everyone
seen her
who's
for a
not
long time.
Southwest.
Right. We haven't seen her for a long time.
Right.
But as you're talking through this, I'm going, I got it.
Yeah.
In those 2 entities, I
Yeah.
got it.
And it's funny because there are a lot of people like, why in the hell do you fly Southwest? Well, you apparently don't get it the way I do.
Right.
And it makes sense for me, and it works for us.
Yeah.
We like it. We appreciate it. And that's who they are. That's who they hang their hat on, that idea of customer service and their approach to it and their style. Some people like it. Some people don't. It's good on them to be focused, too.
Right.
The people who don't like it, okay go fly Delta,
Right.
sucker. But for us, we're like, hey,
Right.
I got to get up an hour early, but I get that Southwest flight. I'm taking it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So the second thing I wanted to talk about today is some advice I gave to one of our clients a couple weeks ago. He was really upset. His retail sales, it's not what they sell is, I don't want to call them out here, but what they sell isn't necessarily an essential. It's not groceries.
Right.
It's not gasoline. It's not, it's not got to have this to survive kind of thing. It's a I go and shop there when I have some extra money kind of thing. So their sales are way, way, way down at this point because of no one's out, and there's so many restrictions on shopping.
Right.
And the person I'm talking to was very upset because their sales are way down. They don't know how they're going to, take care of things. They're trying to work with their landlord and their bank, and some people are helping and some people aren't.
Right.
And so we're working through the process of how to handle rent, how to handle the bank, how to get a line of credit. If you want to apply for the PPPL or the other assistance from the government, we're talking about all those, and they're doing a good job with their options there.
Right.
But then they kind of led to, I don't know what else to do. That's all I'm doing. And now I'm just sitting here waiting for people to come in the door. Well, sitting here waiting for people to come in the door, even on a normal day, is not a good idea.
Right.
There are things you can do always. And if you actually have time, you have bandwidth because you don't have the retail traffic you typically do, you absolutely should be doing these things. So here they are.
Yep.
Real quickly, you should be calling your best customers.
Right.
Especially if you have a great customer service relationship. If you know people by first name, if you actually have relationships with people where you have a phone number, where you know them by first name, where you say your name, they would know who you are,
Right.
then you should be having, right now, because of COVID-19, you should be making those phone calls. If you have that capability, you should do it, whether it's one customer, 10, or 500.
And not to sell, but to build that relationship.
Absolutely, yes, for sure. Call them up and ask them how they are.
Exactly.
Ask them how they're doing.
Is there anything we can do?
That's
for
right.
you?
And remind them that you are still available. You can do stuff online. They have a whole procedure. We made a video for them of their cleaning procedures for people who do come in. You could schedule private one-on-one consultations. There's pickups. There's stuff that can be delivered via UPS, FedEx, etc. There's all kinds of options. Just explain the options. First, check in. First, just hello, person. How are you? Is everything fine? Is this a good time? Do you have a couple of minutes?
Right.
If they don't, let them go. Come back to them later. If they do, have a quick conversation. Just checking in with you, letting you know we're available to you. Here are the ways you can do it, whatever is convenient for you. You have questions, you let me know. That's it.
Build that relationship.
That's it.
Yep.
There's no close here.
Right.
There's no going for the sale. It's
Right.
have a conversation. We are available. Here are your options. You let me know on your timetable. Done. 1 minute, 2 minutes, out the door, on to the next phone call.
Right.
Simple. You're right. That's absolutely key to this is not selling anything. Second, emailing all of your client list. Again, not with, here's the sale price, here's what's on the floor today, da-da-da. But we're available. Here are your options. You let us know what to do.
Here's how we're operating.
That's right. Calling your business partners, your vendors, the people you buy from, the people that you sell to if you're in a wholesale to a retail scenario, the people you do business with. Contact everyone that you do business with. Tell them that you're still doing business, that you're available, that how you can help them. Maybe you find a collaboration opportunity. Maybe they tell you they've got an excess of this, or people are asking for this, or the two of you could put together a video or a podcast or a Zoom interview and put it online and answer questions. Whatever it is, find opportunities to collaborate with the people you're already doing business with.
Maybe they pivoted and now they need your help more than ever.
Right.
Right.
Same thing, using your social media to answer questions, to make yourself available, to provide people options, not selling anything, but letting people know what's up, being informative on social media. You can overdo social media in a typical scenario. Right now, you really can. A lot of people are at home and literally bored, looking for something to listen to read, to review, and for you to provide a video or a checklist of ways that they can shop with you, things that they might need, options, opportunities, etc. Provide that information. Don't feel bad about it because you're not selling, but you're continuing the relationship. And you have the opportunity to, even if you don't create sales in this time period, to extend your brand and develop the relationship with the people who, when it goes back to normal, you're going to be first on their list because you're front of mind, because you've been in contact with them, and they appreciated the approach.
Now, you brought up social media. I think today Instagram is even more important.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, Twitter's fine. LinkedIn for trade stuff.
B2B, yeah, sure, but not B2C as much.
No, but Instagram, I think, is absolutely a way to stay in front of people and continue to build that relationship, because that's the basis of the platform.
For sure. The key right now, always social media, but it's everything is under a microscope right now. The key to successful social media conversations that can become conversions, become sales, is understanding the platform. Understanding what you need to do in the content, the core content can be the same across every platform, but how you take your copy and connect it to the photo or video on Instagram, because it's highly visual. How you use the same copy on LinkedIn, how you use it on Facebook, how you use it on Twitter. If you're into TikTok now, that's the new thing. How you convert, and we're playing with it very much. Playing is the story. I'm not using it anyway. I'm experimenting with it because why not?
Sure.
And honestly, our clients aren't on TikTok. But they may be someday, and who knows? It may be one of those things where at one point in time, hey, only kids were on Facebook. Well, everybody's on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest and everything else. One point in time, Pinterest, it's for ladies to pin, fashion and recipes. Not anymore. Everyone's doing everything on that platform. Those platforms will expand. Understand, like Pinterest is different than Instagram, which is different than Twitter. So if you understand how the platforms work, how to curtail, how to craft your message connected with the visual, the time limits on videos, the size of your photos, all of that stuff, and you do it correctly, you have a chance to connect. If you just throw crap out there on the random or the same message over and over and over again for everyone, then you have the opportunity for people to not take you seriously and really almost become inundated by your messaging and become bored with it really quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, you had a fourth tip for us.
I do. So the last thing I want to tell you guys, right now, a lot of cities and states across the country are talking about how to reopen. The president's talking about how to reopen the economy. Here in Oklahoma City, the city is going to the end of the month. The governor has lifted the restriction at the end of this week. By the time you guys hear this, it'll have come up the most severe restrictions. Not fully open, but there's social distancing rules and all kinds of stuff that come with it. First, I've been saying all along, businesses shouldn't be super rapid of automatically going back to where they used to do it and not integrating the things they're doing right now today to adapt. The adaptation you need to keep, the things you've adopted and adapted. And if you've pivoted, it's very tempting to pivot back rapid. Slow down. Because one of the things that's most damaging to business is uncertainty. It's very, very bad on business. It's more detrimental to your business than your competition is uncertainty. And so right now, your consumers, your audience, the public, everyone is uncertain. There are plenty of people who are ready for the economy to get back up and let's get back to normal life. There are plenty of people who so want everyone to stay home and everything in between. That middle is uncertainty. And even people who are like, I'm going out in the world, I'm going to do business, they still don't know things they can and cannot do because there's government limitations, etc. So even the folks who feel solid about it still have uncertainty about how to do it. Business owners definitely have uncertainty about how to do it. So when the restrictions came on, our advice was move fast. Change fast, adopt, adapt, change. Typically, I never tell someone to pivot in a 30-day period. We were telling people, hey, 15, 30 days pivot, get it done, stay viable through this process. It's temporary. When it ends, you can pivot back, which you typically don't tell someone they can pivot back. But the unusual circumstances here. Now that you're fully in it, we're coming through the backside of it, and it's different across the country, I know.
Yeah.
But those of you coming out of this, slow down. Do the opposite of the fast change to get in. Slow down, pay attention, and the answer in business is always the market will tell you.
Right.
The market will tell you when you get to go back to what it was before. It's possible the market will never tell you they want what you did before. The market might, and I don't know, I'm guessing here. I have no idea. I have no clue which way this goes. The market may tell you the way we're doing it today, the last week or 2 weeks, is how we want to do business with you, and we don't ever want you to go back to before. That means your pivot is now permanent.
That's permanent, right.
And the things you've adapted and adopted along the way, you've spent time and effort and sometimes money on technology and other things too to make those adaptations, to add online ordering, to add delivery services and paying the fees, to change your POS system, all of those things you've done. Don't throw that money away by turning it all off and going back to business as usual until your audience demands it.
Right.
And that means no one's ordering online, no one's using the new tools, no one's using the new thing you did. 100% of our customers are coming back to the traditional methods. Then you can go back to your traditional methods until it's at 80, 90, 100% of customers doing it the way we used to. Don't go back to the way we used to. Take your time. It's very, very, very likely that your reopen is a hybrid. What you used to do and what we've learned through this process.
Right. Exactly.
Give people options. And the more that we start going back to normal and until we get into normal again, the slower the process and you start seeing those things phase out. But again, when do you turn off those options? When the audience stops using it. That's the answer.
Yeah. Don't be an early adopter, basically.
Right now you don't. Right now go slow. You had to before, you had to go super fast.
Right.
Now take your time.
And there's some other considerations too. There was a woman on our local news last night who was a salon owner, and those are the first things in Oklahoma City that are going to get opened. Actually, while we're taping,
Boy,
this.
man, and I need it.
Yeah, exactly. But this owner said, "I'm not going to open now."
Yes.
Because it would be the most horrible thing in the world if one of my clients, or if one of my workers became ill because I opened too quickly.
That's
a moral
right.
imperative. That you
It's
really
the second
need to
half
think
of this
about.
conversation here. The note I had was I'm seeing a lot of businesses make their post about how they'll reopen, and they're all starting by apologizing. Don't do that. They're apologizing because they're not going to be completely, fully reopened the way we used to be the day the limitation comes off from their city or their state. And that's the smart move. They shouldn't be. They should be, like we said, taking our time, slowly transitioning, but you don't apologize for it.
Let's go back to
the apology,
impulse, right?
Stop apologizing for our dining room won't be open, or our hours won't go back to where they used to, or we're just not doing business outside of online, whatever it is. Stop apologizing for it. Simply state your case.
Yeah, it's the
Here's
new
how
reality.
it looks to us.
Everybody understands
That's right.
that.
Here's how it makes sense to us. We want to be open. We want to serve you. We want to provide products and services. We want to supply paychecks for our employees. But uncertainty. The certainty is on top of all of us. Even though the government said you can be open, can we still create issues for ourselves and our staff is uncertainty. Uncertainty is on top of everyone. So take your time, slowly transition. If people are if they're lining up out the door, you may have to. But until they do, don't panic about it, and don't apologize for running your business the way you want to run your business, because it's your business. You're responsible for it. You're responsible for your employees. You're responsible for the people who work under you, the people that you do business with, and you're responsible for your customers and consumers when you interact with them. You're responsible, so take the time, but do not apologize for not being faster.
Right.
And if someone wants you to open or operate back the way you used to faster than you want to, we always talk about if they're not the right customer for you, let them go. If they're not the right customer for you right now, let them go.
Right.
It's that simple. So stop apologizing for reopening on your schedule. Do reopen and go back to a normalcy of business on your schedule. Don't let one or two people or complainers, the haters, right? The don't read the comments on social media. Don't let them drive you. Let your actual audience, the people who will spend money with you, who want to be loyal to. This is another great use of social media right now. Go poll your email list.
Right.
Call your best customers. Hey, what do you think? Should we reopen? Would you feel comfortable? That's the question you should be asking. Would you feel comfortable? Would you come back? Would you spend your time in the restaurant, in the hair salon? And what do you need from us? Do you need masks? Do you need gloves? Do you need to see the sanitation? What do you need from us? We'll do it.
Right.
Have that conversation. It goes back to customer service. It goes back to deepening your relationships in a non-conversion, non-sales way. That builds loyalty. That creates the opportunity. And maybe another month or two of slim sales. And maybe you can't bring the whole staff back yet. And trust me, folks out there, I know what you're going through right now. We're dealing with this every day, too, with every one of our clients. And our business has been affected as well. We understand what the strain is right now. We do. But if you open too fast or you do it wrong or you drive away customers, you drive away your staff because you're desperate to get open, and I get it. I get the cash flow. Just keep working with your bank. Keep working with your vendors. Keep working with your landlord. If you got to let a vehicle go, if you got to let a piece of equipment go, you got to take a loan. Don't take a mortgage out on your house. Calm down now.
Right.
But do what you need to do. Stay open. Keep people employed. If you have to let some people go so they can collect unemployment and bring them back later, make sure you stay within the rules if you're taking PPL and all that good stuff. But don't panic now, the way we told you not to panic before. Do open on your timetable. Just common sense, people. Use common sense. You know how much you can control, how much you can clean, how much of the situation is people being near each other, right, breathing and potentially sneezing and coughing, what you can do for your staff, how much training you could do. The slower, the more intentional this process, and the more you communicate to your audience and to your staff.
With your audience.
Amongst. Telling them and asking them, polling, looking for input, following along with their recommendations, what they want you to do, and as much as you can and feel comfortable with, your staff feels comfortable with. We're all human beings. Talk to them like human beings.
Right.
If you do that, we all have the opportunity to come out of this terrible negative space better than we went in.
Yep.
Deeper loyalty, better understanding of our customers understanding us. They want to support us. And new tools, new ways of doing business that might make that hybrid version of your business in the future much more effective and efficient and profitable. There it is. So this all rolls together. It was a lot today, but I felt strong about this subject. I really wanted to dive deep in this, give you some examples, and tell you why it's important. And so that's why I went a little bit longer today. And I hope my passion is coming through the microphone and the camera right now, because I want every business to survive this. Every single business in the country, in the world, I want them to survive this downturn. I want them to come out of it better.
Right.
I want them to reopen and go back to business as normal, but I hope we're all better. And I know, because it's what we do, is the lessons learned through this process can make you even better. That's what I want. I want 6 months from now to see super strong businesses everywhere, great relationships with their clients, solid anchors in their communities, places for people to go, to congregate, to have jobs. Those jobs mean payroll, taxes, and all the things that come with supporting your community. Right. I want every business to survive this. That's why I'm being so emphatic right now about reopen slowly and on the terms of you, your staff, and then what your audience is telling you, because you're asking them. Don't assume.
Giving us some great words of wisdom. There are things to consider.
That was a lot today, folks, but I really felt it was necessary. Thank you for listening along through this conversation. Good luck to everyone out there. Really mean it. If you need anything when it comes to business, if you need deeper advice, if you need to ask questions about anything we've ever talked about on this podcast, anything we put on social media, if you just need to bounce some ideas, if you just are at the end of your rope, like the person I talked to a couple weeks ago about how to use their time because their sales are down, whatever it is, hit us up on social media. There's a contact button on our website. You can email us. You can call us. You can make a Zoom meeting. We don't have to meet in person. We emphatically want to help you. That's why we do this podcast. We want to help answer questions. We want to give you suggestions. We want to push you in the right direction or connect you with who needs to help you to keep your business open, because it's that important. So absolutely. I'm gonna end on that with Hit the subscribe button.
Hit the subscribe button.
Hit us up on social media. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. I'm polling you right now.
Yeah,
what do you need to hear more of? What do you like? What do you need? If you need more, if you need direct contact, hit us up. We will connect with you. We will have that conversation.
Absolutely.
And with that, I'm just going to say good luck.
Ciao.